Welcome everyone, and thanks for coming on this Tuesday night for our development webinar series. Looks most likely like it'll be the last one for this season. We'll start them up again at some point. Moving forward here, we're lucky enough tonight to have Dean Seymour from one of the Hockey Canada certified skills coach, working with Hockey Canada these days, talking tonight about shooting and scoring. Dean. Actually, just before we get going here, again, if you can go in and change your names, please make sure that I have your first and last name so we can give you credit for tonight's clinic. Again, I have iPad 5 here. Paul, I'm not sure if that's your first iPad is your first or last name, but if we can get that changed, make sure. I want to make sure we get credit for everyone. Dean, they are all yours.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you taking the time out of your schedules tonight to listen to a little bit of shooting and scoring material. I've done a couple of these, and this is actually version number 2.3, I think, but it's not your traditional. I'm not going to go through the technical pieces of how to shoot pucks. This presentation is more about blending your skills and your hockey IQ to help you score more goals. And there's really no better page. If we could just go through the table of contents here, we're gonna check a lot of boxes and talk a lot about it, a lot of different things. But I really like this page to start off presentations with, and everybody's seen these type of charts. And when it comes to scoring goals, I like to put players into buckets. And if I say Alexander Ovechkin, you know where Alex Ovechkin is going to score most of his goals from. I talk about Steven Stamkos. I talked about Patrick Laine. You know that they're scoring goals from a certain area on the ice. Same thing can be held true with Crosby, Barzal, Gaudreau. You know they're going to be in tight. McDavid, McKinnon, Horvath, those guys are scoring goals off the rush. I think about 60% of all players, or I should say 60% of all goals come from a certain area. What makes players really good or great is that they can score 15% from another area on the ice. And I truly believe that we can help players score more goals by helping them with their shot mechanics, where to go on the ice with regards to hockey IQ. But if you can take a goal score from 12 goals to 15 goals, or even from 2 to 4 goals, yeah, it's tough to take a guy from 50 to 50, got 5 goals, but I truly believe you can do that because I think that most players score 60% of their goals from one area of the ice. So if we can get everybody on our team scoring 2 or 5 or 3 more goals, that ends up being a lot of more positive output from our group, which hopefully ends up being more wins in the win column. So just some food for thought. We know where the way goals are scored: clear shots, entries, net drives. There's 10 ways that we like at Hockey Canada to talk about how goals are scored. The majority of goals are scored on east-west or low to high. I'd say 60 to 70% of goals in the NHL are stemming from some sort of low to high or east-west play. And obviously that's true because we're looking for breakdowns. And the other area of success would be our tips and deflections and stuff really close in the paint. When we talk about practice and practicing good habits, this is the time to master all shot types. We've got wrist shots, snap shots, one-timers. So in order to be efficient in games, we have to take our practice time very serious. And not only do we have to master the shots, but we have to master the time and place to select that shot and make it happen under pressure, in a confined space, in the game. So you can't neglect your practice time because that's where you're going to master. And I see so many players at practice. Let's just take a 4 blue warm-up drill. They'll work so hard going up to the dot, back to the blue. And then when they hit the ringette line, they're coming in for their shot, they sort of slow down and they're like, okay, I'm at the end of the drill. Now I can just shoot my puck. Well, I like to consider that a deficiency. I think as the drill closes at practice, we need to raise our intensity and be better the closer we get to the net to improve our scoring. So practice is a big area of focus for me when you're trying to master what shot you're going to take and where on the ice you're going to take that shot. There's a lot of success variables. You've got individual skill traits and you got game variable traits. When it comes to individuals and the limitations, when you're trying to get a player to score more goals, sometimes you have to look at their skill set. Some players just can't skate. They can't get there. So they're going to have trouble scoring goals. Some players don't shoot the puck as well as others. That's a skill limitation. Some people don't think the game very well. This is hockey IQ. They can't get to the right place. So we've got to deal with individuals who have a poor hockey IQ, but we still got to find a way to get them to the area, get them creating that situation to score their goals. We got players that are in different roles on their team. So some of them are just up and down, dump and chase kind of guys. Some of them are not put in situations, but players are in different roles. So you can't expect that player playing 6 minutes to score as many goals as the player playing 28 minutes. Structure has a lot to do with whether you're going to score goals or not. Is the coach a defensive minded guy? Is he a speculate, a hope guy that's always slashing and trying to create stuff behind? So coach structure has a lot to do with whether you're going to score goals or not. The lack of confidence is a big thing I see. When you're going good, you're scoring goals. When you're not going good, it's a grind to score. And we call these hesitations or pauses. And you can see it when people don't shoot the puck when they should. And a lot of times, they just don't have the confidence to pull the trigger on that shot. So we've got to address that and create confidence. How do we do that? We do it in practice. We do it with less pressure. We put players in situations that they can gain confidence. So they are taking that shot on the 2-on-1 instead of guessing and hesitating. Should I pass it over to Crosby or should I shoot it? I say shoot it. A lot of times the opposite is true. Some individuals, they just overhandle the puck and they're stick handling too much and they can't get the puck off. We know as we get higher in level of play that the more we stick handle, the less opportunity we're going to have. So we got individuals with that overhandle puck. They don't score as many goals. The game variables, pretty simple. If the game is fast and guys can't keep up, that pace of play is going to affect your scoring success. Maybe guys can't move to their backhand. So pressure from the left side, the right side. What if you're playing the off wing and you're always on that side of the ice and the situation isn't presenting itself favorably for you? So the game has a lot to do with your ability to score. The speed in which people are closing. If you have aggressive D-men who are like surfing up on you, that can affect your outcome when trying to score more goals. What area of the ice? Like if you can't get to the house, if you can't get inside the dots, and the team is really defensively structured again, that's going to affect your outcome. Again, the overhandling, the mid-stick handling, again, it has to do with the pace of play. Sometimes you just can't get that shot off. Defensemen that are good with their stick really does affect your success on scoring goals. Again, not only the area of the ice, but the distance. Like defensemen don't usually have as much success scoring from the blue line. But if you activate your defensemen, maybe you can have more success when you're closer to the net. Goaltending reading, some guys don't shoot with their eyes up and some goalies are good, but when you're at your ability to get your head up and see the open net, it's going to certainly improve your chances of scoring more goals. So lots of individual traits and game traits that you have to look at when you're trying to score more goals. Some of the keys, and we'll dig into some video right away here, but some of the keys that are happening at the elite level are that are enabling players to score more goals are speed changes. We look at a lot of players that are good. They manipulate defenders, they manipulate sticks, they manipulate feet. They get defenders off balance. So the threatening of a shot really can get that guy on one knee, upright like a pencil, trying to block it. So we talk about threatening what is covered. A lot of players are good at this, pushing off into traffic and then popping out for open shots. Using screens, obviously, triangle support. So the ability to have a low outlet and a high outlet. We talk about this on entries a lot. Just a real key to scoring when you have passing options and have created those triangle support type of situations. Anytime we can get inside the dots, you're going to improve your scoring success. Changing the angle is a real trend in the game. Moving your puck, pushing it, pulling it. We talked briefly about north-south plays and the success at the NHL level they're having at breaking down the defenses by getting mismatches on those low to highs and east-west plays. Cycling is still a part of the game and can create scoring from those corner situations. Handoff, scissor plays, D-man diving down with handing off to the forwards, still a key to scoring. Crossing and dropping, so your drop passes open up, causes confusion for defensemen. We talked about east-west. Moving defensemen joining the rush. It's a real trend in the game to activate that third wave, that fourth wave of defensemen to join the rush and help score more goals. Little things like shooting in stride. And then the piece of deception is such a huge topic in the game right now. And I know we've got some young coaches on the call, but I would add deception early. And I'm talking U9, if they can, they're sponges. And if you can get them looking one way and shooting the other, or showing shot and passing, I wouldn't be afraid to incorporate those little skills of deception into the game that early. What are the elite guys doing? Okay, I know sometimes video doesn't come through cleanly, so I'll try and stop it and isolate some of the details that I'm talking about. But the elite have the ability to make plays with their eyes up. They have the ability to read play. So we talk about scanning, shoulder checking, but if guys can't get their eyes up, they're not going to be able to see sticks, find the open player, and make the correct play on the ice. So vision is a huge thing for us at Hockey Canada right now, whether we're talking U17, national women's team, U20, the ability to get your eyes up to understand what's in front of you and make the right call is such a key. So if we're talking shooting and scoring, before we even get there, we have to have the ability to have our eyes up and stick handle a puck. Without A, you can't get to B. But guys not only can look at defenders that are falling, shot blocking, but they're also watching for sticks to make plays like this. So you see Austin Matthews with his eyes up, and he's manipulating the defender. He's watching, waiting, and when the puck is pulled, he's obviously in a better shooting area. Okay, so split-second decisions. I think one thing that separates the elite from the average is their hesitation. Being able to make these split-second decisions is something that makes elite players great, and the average players really struggle with those split-second decisions. And it's that ability: do I shoot the puck or do I not shoot the puck? Should I pass it to my open teammate or should I take this shot? And that causes a lot of confusion for some players, but the elite seem to figure it out quicker than the average player. Manipulating defenders, okay? So we're trying to score goals, but we're trying to create space. And I talk about half seconds. If I can create a half second in the corner, now I can make a play. Now I can make a shot. So we're manipulating defenders. We're manipulating feet. Here's a great example of threatening. The other thing that we're doing is we identify when to freeze players. So do you shoot this puck? Do you freeze the goalie? Do you freeze the defender? But the elite have the ability to freeze players and make the correct decisions on the ice. So that's what the good players are doing. And we need to try and encourage everybody to get to this level. And I think we talked briefly about it, But the elite, they process the why or the reason behind doing something better than anybody. Okay, they have these discovery moments. I call them aha moments. So they fake one way, and then all of a sudden they have that discovery moment of, I'm going to shoot it, or I'm going to pass it. So they have more of those discovery moments than, say, a player in the CHL at the, third or fourth line level, or even that tier one U13 or U9 player. They seem to have more discovery moments than the player that's not scoring as many goals. And they're also very aware of their teammates and when to give them the puck and when not to give the puck. So that's just in a nutshell what some of the elite are doing. So now let's take a look and dig into some of these scoring situations that I think that we can incorporate into our players' DNA to help them score more goals. And manipulating the defender. Okay. When we talk about manipulating a defender, most defenders, they focus on the threatening player. So if I'm going into the slot, I'm probably going to draw some attention. If I'm going to fake a slap shot, I'm probably going to have the goalie and the defender that is going to come towards me. Defenders get scared. Okay. They back off, or whenever they're threatened or pushed into, they want to create some space for themselves. So if we can manipulate these players, we're creating that half second of space for ourselves. And it's our job to discover the new space that's created to whether take our shot or pass our puck. So let's take a look at some of these examples of what players are doing. So if I threaten the slot right there, look at all the players that come to my backhand or my entry. Leaves a player open. Again, I threaten a backhand shot. Look at the focus it draws on me. So somebody's got to be open. When four players are coming to one threatening player, something's got to be open. I want to identify this. And it's all over the ice. It's whether you're driving down the wall like this, and I know there's a couple spinoramas in there, but I just wanted to highlight, if you threaten, people will draw attention to you. And you do that on entries, you do it out of the corner, you can do it coming, through the seam. So when we threaten coverage, okay, here's a great example of when we push into it. So all we're doing here is we're threatening our coverage, and watch what happens when you threaten, okay? You don't want to get hit. So you just created a little extra space from you. You can do it on entry like this player does it. Just threaten, push in, push out. You've created that half second to make your play. Push in, push out, look at the two defenders back up, fake to the middle, take the puck outside. So that's just another way of creating space for yourself to help score goals. You can do it on the rush. Okay, you can do it on entry. Here, we're just coming out of the corner, creating a seam, push in, separate back, draw people to you, but the ability to threaten seams. So here Crosby's doing it. He's not only doing it once. So he comes out of the corner. He threatens the dot. It's not there. Okay. So he goes back into the corner. He's going to threaten the low seam. It's there. But we got to get used to manipulating defenders. The best way, one of the best ways to manipulate a defender is to threaten with your puck. We can see what happens when people focus on a threatened player. Everybody gravitates to him. We can see what opens up when we do a good job of it as well. Momentum. Not a lot of people talk about momentum when they're scoring. You can go with the puck. You can go away from the puck. It does take time for your brain to decide whether to shoot, okay, or not to shoot. And we have to respect this. Sometimes it's best to go with momentum, whether we're going with or without or against the puck. So here's some examples of going away from the puck. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. So when we look at this one, our toes are going into the corner. Okay. And we're going to let our momentum go to the far post. So we're going with the puck. Our body's going one way. We're puck's going the other. Body's going one way. We're going to let the momentum stay on that far side. Here's a great example of our momentum going one way. And it's just easy for us to shoot the puck away instead of trying to whip it to the glove hand. Going with the puck, okay? So sometimes if we're going left, Okay, it's best to go to the left. So here's an example of a player going right with their puck. Just shoot it right. And it's really evident on catch and release plays. So if we look at the entry here with McKinnon, he's going to pass the puck to the middle. The puck, the momentum of the puck is going from left to right. So the player receiving the puck has it going to the right side of the net. So just let the momentum go to the right and shoot the puck to the right. That's using momentum. Okay, here's another one. The puck's going left, absorb it, shoot it left. Don't try and go against the grain. Sometimes momentum will dictate where you should shoot the puck. And these D to D punch shots, we call them, is a great use of momentum. Allow your body to go with the puck. Don't try and do something that's a little bit harder. Go with it and allow that momentum to carry you in to your shot. The Mohawk momentum, you see a lot of players getting into 10 and 2s now and whipping or slinging the puck to the net. This momentum is a really good trick to be deceptive on the goalie. Two things happen. One, the goalie can't read if you're going to shoot blocker or glove because you're rotating around with the puck. So you can either shoot blocker or glove, whatever you see. But the other great thing about using the Mohawk and momentum is your eyes are always looking at the puck. So now with your heel to heel movement, you've opened and faced the goalie. So where does he want to go with this one? It's really up to him. But using the momentum of a Mohawk is a great way to be deceptive and score more goals. Okay. So we saw both these players sling it back to the glove. Here, okay, again, a little bit of confusion in front. But if you watch the goalie on this one, you can clearly see how confused he is and how he reaches. Okay. So again, a little bit of a screen, but great use. Grice is going the other direction. And it's like a last stitch effort to go blocker. So if I back this up and roll it, you can watch his glove. He's just guessing because he doesn't know the momentum of the puck. Downhill momentum. We talk a lot about it on the power play in the flank. We've all seen the hardest shot in the NHL. They're obviously skating with downhill towards the net to generate the most momentum for the hardest shot competition. It's no different here. Anytime we can get our momentum going downhill, we improve our shot strength, our accuracy, because the direction of our body is helping us get pucks to the net. So use of momentum is a great way to score goals. Offensive zone, defensive zone deception, the ability to show one thing when you're actually planning to do something else. And I think one of the big deficiencies, especially with younger players using deception, sometimes they do it too fast. These deceptive movements, you can't rush through them. You have to allow time for the defender to bite. And a good example is just a forehand, backhand weight transfer. Sometimes they do the fake so fast that the D-man just looks at him and goes, "Ah, that was really quick," but it was so fast, he didn't have to move. We have to allow the defender to get off balance, okay? And faking too fast with your feet or your head or your shoulders doesn't allow enough time to create that space. So here's a good example. We saw this earlier of the stop and go. Just enough time to create that space, stop, go, okay? And if you went too quick, Austin Matthews would be able to take a direct path and finish the check on him. So here, here's the deception, the threat of the shot, and watch how long he holds it. The longer you can hold this deceptive movement, the better chance you have of popping out or maybe finding another play to make that pass. So watch the hold on this right here. That freezes, that allows for the time and space. Another stop and go, great play coming out of the corner to create that space. That same deception on the entry, the push in, the threaten, such a great little clip to manipulate the defender. I think this one's too quick. So if we watch point come in, great footwork. I don't know how you tell him to slow it down. You don't. You let him go. He still did create space, but these 2-foot slides are really great and they do throw defenders off. But that would be an example of maybe being too fast where he could have created more space. Here's another one, just enough time. Here's one of those forehand backhand fakes, little stop and go. But again, so fast. McDavid, really a great execution there of a stop and go. And then, okay, here's one of those aha moments, the deception in passing. These elite guys, they have the ability to have more of these aha moments than the others. Deceptive passing, when we talk about deception, there's 3 ways to threaten. You threaten with your head, you threaten with your puck, and you threaten with your feet. If you can accomplish 3 of these when you're trying to show deception, you're almost 100% there. If you can show stick and head, you've got still a good chance. But when you combine your eyes, your blade of your stick, and your feet, you're really going to have a better success rate at showing one thing when you're really planning to do the others. So when we talk about deception, we talk about those 3 points. And there's a great clip of a player using all 3 points for offensive deception. Free space. A great coach of mine, he says, if the seam is not there, move your feet, and usually one will present itself. So when we talk about free space, the great players, when they get the puck, they move their feet. Okay. Sometimes we don't know if we're going to go into the space and take it or not take it. But I say, go take that free space and ask yourself, are you improving the condition of yourself? Are you improving the condition for your teammates? Are you improving the condition of a passing option? So there's, should you do it or should you not? But if you go into that free space, at least you open up those opportunities for yourself. So here's some great clips on free space. Go take it. A lot of players will look for something else. They'll stop their feet. The great players, they move their feet. They explore that free space and they keep moving it until this free space creates itself. Then do you shoot the puck or do you pass the puck to your teammates? The free space doesn't always have to be in front of you. It can be recognized behind you. The great players have that ability to get their eyes up, find multiple areas of free space to better their opportunities of scoring. So finding free space, taking free space is something that we should encourage our players to do. And it's going to help you score more goals in the long run. Like I said, if the seam is not there, move your feet and one will present itself. But the great players, when they get the puck, they're not standing still. They always tend to move their feet to find that open space. Another really cool hockey IQ little nugget that I'd like to throw at you guys is, a lot of people focus on the puck. Okay. But when the puck leaves an area, they sort of forget about that area. So if we watch some of these pucks and we talk about go to where the puck was, if you watch highlights from the game tonight, tomorrow, and you watch the goals, you'd be shocked at how many pucks go back to where they originated. So here, the puck left the corner. That's where the puck was. As the play evolves, everybody gets their head focused in a new area. And then all of a sudden the guy pops out, and the goal scored where the puck was. The puck enters down the dot line. There's nobody better in the league than Braden Point at going to where the puck was. Comes back door where the puck was. Again, puck in the slot. Okay, everybody gets focused. They separate. Braden Point seems to have a knack for finding that open space. Where was the puck? It was in this area. Goal scored. Okay, real simple one off the face-off. You don't think much of it. Loose puck pops out at the dot. Tight turn. Okay, cut back. Goal scored. So something I just wanted to plant the seed. If you're talking to your players, there's free space where the puck was. And it's a real point of interest for me. And I'm finding a lot of goals are being scored from where the puck was. So just something to think about. Another real fun thing to talk about, when I grew up playing hockey, it was all like get the puck on your stick and off your stick. It was all about quick release, one-timers. But the more we had the puck on our blade, the less chance we had of scoring. And the same thing holds somewhat true now. If you want to score goals, you got to get the puck on and off your stick quickly. But the ability to quickly dust or not dust, okay, is something that's certainly happening now. And I want to first show you what I mean by dusting. Dusting is the little stick handle right there. Okay, so if we watch again, the threat is there. Okay, so we see Crosby come in, he shows shot. This is what's locking in the defender or the goalie. But what we're seeing is players are adding a stick handle. Why? To manipulate the defender, to manipulate the goaltender. So why would we do this? We would do it for exactly that reason. So more and more players are dusting pucks before they shoot it. Here's a player who doesn't dust. It's one-on-one. I'd say the goalie has the advantage because there was no movement, okay? I would take the goalie, I don't know, 8 out of 10 times on this shot. But if you stick handle, like in this next clip, what you do is you cause confusion. Watch the goalie's head, up, down, up, down, up, down. He's unsure of when the puck is going to be released. So the added dust really shows in the goalie and his ability to lock in to this shot. And I'm sure there's some goalie coaches on the call tonight, but watch how guys are loading, dusting, finding the open hole, loading, dusting, finding the open hole. It really does create some uncertainty for the goaltender. And he could have went top glove. He could have went 5-hole. Traditionally, this is what we're used to. We're used to open up goalies 5-hole. Okay. So we fake our shot. We get him to commit. Okay. And he extends the 5-hole. There he is. So great job on this sort of movement to freeze the goalie. Okay. What happens if we don't dust and we have traffic? Okay. So Chara doesn't do anything, just concedes the block shot. Now, if somebody dusts, like our next generation player, okay, and again, you can't do it all the time, but the last shot went into the body. This shot misses the body and goes in the net. Now, there's a time and a place for everything. I'm not going to say get your defenseman to dust the puck on the blue line, because obviously we have, the risk of turning it over. But the elite seem to be grasping this new concept of not overhandling, but throwing a little dribble in their shot selection to manipulate the goaltenders and get them off balance before they're finding the open space on the net. Just one more topic here I want to talk about. And again, it's a real popular trend, is the lookoffs and the no looks. And I'll bet you every game there's a goal being scored with some sort of use of the eyes as deception. And the lookoffs and the no looks are real fun to practice, but they're also pretty cool to watch in the games as well. And again, we're selling this with our feet, our stick, and our eyes. And if we can get 2 of the 3 showing one thing, or 1 here, we just had the eyes, but if we can get all 3 showing one thing, here's a great example of everything showing pass when we're really going to shoot it. So we've got our puck prepped, we got our feet at the target, we got our eyes looking one way. Okay, so we're in a good no look position here. We've turned our whole body completely to our 2-on-1. Okay, not a great one here, but he didn't look at the net, so I call that just a little bit of deception. Again, showing pass, but the use of your eyes when you're trying to show something you're not going to do is really beneficial. And here's a great clip. Okay, like everything is showing slot, and the more hesitation that's shown here, you can watch the goaltender. He slowly creeps off the post and says, okay, this guy's not going to shoot it. he's going to he's gonna pass it. I give up on the shot. And just when he decides to commit, the Nashville player throws it over the shoulder. So again, I thank you for your time. I think there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of new concepts that a lot of players are incorporating into their game. And again, it can be at that U9 level. You can introduce this stuff, and it can be at your pro level. I'm used to working with the national women's team, the Regina Pats, the Flames. I'm used to the older demographic, but I still I don't treat those U9s any different than some of my U18 players. So again, thanks for taking the time out of your schedules today. And I'd like to open it up for any questions, because I'm sure there are some, certainly with regards to when and why you'd want to try some of these in a game.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that, Dean. That was really good. If you have any questions, you can feel free, just send them in to me through the direct chat, or you can open up your mic, one of the two. I do have a question already. How much do you work on not dusting the puck off compared to making plays when the puck is already loaded on your stick?
I'm still of the old school mentality, not old school, but the more you move your hands, the slower your feet move. So I'm still like, if you're dragging a puck, I don't want you stick handling at all. I want you dragging it, cradled. I want you prepped to shoot. Again, the game is happening so fast, especially for a defenseman. You definitely want to, you don't want to turn the puck over. So I'm all about, less stick movement, more foot movement. And the more you move your hands, the slower your feet go. So again, everything is situational. We see a lot of this dusting on forwards, on entry, in 2-on-1 situations, off the rush. I'm not seeing as much of it along the blue line when you're the last man back. So hopefully that kind of sugarcoats it, but I'm still not teaching the dust as much as I am the no dust.
Makes sense. Oh, I did get a question, just came in. Would like to hear a little bit more about where and how to start U10 players in understanding the elements of goal scoring. Many players at this age are rewarded with goals that won't work when players get better. What good habits do we build early to make them better down the road?
I think one of the greatest habits that you could push down to a U9 that they would comprehend and try and incorporate it as their game is movement. You can't just stand in front of the net and think you're open and you're going to score a goal. There has to be some sort of movement on getting open. So I think a early concept that you could teach to a young player would be to don't just go to the hash mark and stand there, move. And you could add a coach just standing in the slot. And let's say he goes to the coach, but don't give that player the pass at the coach. Force him to move a stick length away, to start training that young player that not all goals are scored from just standing in one place. So the movement of a player in the slot is, I think, an early skill that we could, slowly introduce. And in essence, that would lead into hockey IQ, right? You're trying to get open. That would be one initiative that I would try. Shooting in stride and shooting in motion is probably a pretty safe one. A lot of kids can't move their feet and shoot at the same time, or even load a puck and shoot at the same time. So movement in the slot and movement when shooting would be two areas that I would start with, some of those U9 players.
Awesome. How much of the work do you put into it as well, of not just with the puck, but away from the puck and finding soft areas or supporting the puck in good positions especially at an early age, for them to be able to make plays as a two-man unit and not just a one-man unit or one.
Yeah, that's a really tough thing to coach and incorporate into practice. Again, I'm a small area game guy. Like, that's where you're going to create the hockey IQ. Somehow you've got to create that triangle attack that, okay, so there's 3 versus 1. If one of your triangle mates is covered, you've got to understand to move it to the other mate. Or if, I mean, 2 is tough because that middle defender can still cover 2 players with ones. But I like that little power play drill that you use on a circle. You put 1 player on the dot, and then you got 3 players outside the circle, 2 are on the hash marks, and 1's the quarterback of the power play. And you can have them move the puck around to try and manipulate that middle player like you are on the power play, and basically find the open guy. You can start movement as well, but I think that's a great way to start talking about finding the open player and then getting your shot off quickly. But nothing compares to a small area game where you create that same play with movement and try and, stop it and start it and have some good teach moments within it to teach both your defensive player and your offensive players how to get open and how to take that shot or pass it to your open teammate.
Awesome. What is an easy drill to work on with younger defensemen to facilitate finding open areas to get the shot through?
I'm not a big user of pylons or agility sticks, or sometimes I'll use nets. Now, I mean, I got a really good puck race. I should send it to you, where basically you're using the net. So if, let's just say we go low to high and we walk that puck off the line to the middle of the ice, and we have a net as our high forward on the strong side. If you put a coach behind that net and you ask the coach to pick a side and get that defender to decide, does he go to the middle or does he have to stop and come back to the wall? That would be a good starting point for whatever age. Once you control the environment with coach pressure, you might add a player there and create a little more intensity. But I think just having, and again, it depends what level, but using that big net will create some extra time to allow for success. If it's a pylon, they're just going to go around the pylon and create pressure. But, create your good low to high, create your line walk, but have the net there as that high forward, just as an example of defense, and then put a coach behind the net, and the coach will pop out to the inside or chase him on the outside to force that defender to recognize where the pressure is coming in, and if he's going to go to the middle with speed to complete the shot, or he's going to have to stop and pull it back to the wall to fulfill the open play on net. So that's just one example.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions? I don't have any others in the chat. Any questions? Okay.